Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, you all are aware that we are reading chapter 7 Yvonne's Tries and O-Level written by Colin Dexter. So let us first recall what we have read in this lesson as of now. So dear students, as we have seen that this lesson is about a prisoner whose name is Evans, Roderick Evans. Evans expressed his desire for attaining a degree in O-level German, which is equivalent to secondary exam. For the same, jail authorities made all the arrangements. He was attending night classes. The jail authorities also arranged for a tutor who used to come and teach him. Now, in the month of March, governor completed all the formalities which were required for the exam. The governor of HM prison, where Evans was jailed, governor of HM prison Oxford, he talked to the secretary of examination, board, and all the formalities were done. Now exam was scheduled in the month of June. All the precautions related to security are taken by the jail authorities because they did not want to take any risk. Before this, Evans had escaped the jail 3 times. So that is why the jail authorities they were very careful this time, and they did not want to take any chance with Evans. So Evans was told to shave. So all the precautionary measures were taken, and a whole setup was for examination was done in Evans' cell. Okay. So now let's see what happened at the day of on the day of examination. Page number 74. Second paragraph. At 8:45 the same morning, the Reverend Stuart McLeary left his bachelor flat in Broad Street and stepped out briskly towards Carfax. So at 8:45 the same morning, it was the morning of the day of the examination. It was the day of the examination, and on the same morning, McLeary left his bachelor flat. Bachelor flat means a flat which was a flat in which unmarried person lived. Okay. So that was called bachelor flat. So McLeary left his bachelor flat at 8:45, and he stepped out briskly means fast, towards Carfax. The weatherman reported temperature considerably below the normal for early June, and a long black overcoat and a shallow crowned clerical hat provided welcome protection from the steady drizzle which had set in half an hour earlier, and which was spattered the thick lenses of his spectacles. So dear students, the weatherman reported that the weather was going to be normal as it was the month of June. And when McLeary left his flat, it was drizzling, so he was wearing a overcoat and hat which could protect him from the drizzling, from regular drizzling. In his right hand, he was carrying a small brown suitcase. In his right hand, McLeary was carrying a small brown suitcase which contained all that he would need for his morning duties. So he was holding a suitcase in his right hand, so which contained all he required that morning for the examination, including a sealed question paper. It was having a sealed question paper envelope, a yellow invigilation form, a special authentication card from the examinations board, a paper knife, a Bible. So he was having a Bible because he was to speak to the Women's Guild that afternoon on the book of Ruth. So he had to deliver a speech on the book of Ruth. Okay, so that is why he was having a copy of Bible too, and a current copy of the Church Times. He was also having a current copy of Church Times. The 2-hour examination was scheduled to start at 9:15. So that 2-hour examination scheduled to start 9:15. So we must keep remember these times as they are very important. At 9:15, McLeary left his bachelor flat, and examination was scheduled to start at 9:15. Examination was scheduled to start. Examination was scheduled to start at 9:15, and McLeary left his bachelor flat at 8:45, that is 8:45. Okay, so let's see what happened next. We must keep remember these times, and they play a very important role in answering the question. So the 2-hour examination was scheduled to start at 9:15. Evans was lathering his face vigorously when Stephens brought in 2 small square tables and set them opposite each other in the narrow space between the bunk on the one side and on the other side a distempered stone wall. So Evans was foaming his face vigorously. Vigorously means briskly, faster. As he was shaving, he was getting his face shaved. So that is why. So he was in a hurry to finish the shaving. So Evans was foaming his face vigorously when Stephens brought in 2 small square tables. So then Stephen brought 2 small square tables. So most probably one for Evans and one for the invigilator. and set them opposite each other in the narrow space between the bunk on the one side and on the other a distempered stone wall. So they were arranged in the cell of Evans. Next, Stephens brought in two hard chairs. Then he brought two hard chairs, the slightly less battered. Battered means broken. First, let me finish this paragraph, then I will make you write the meanings of the difficult words, then we will be continuing. Battered, of which he placed in front of the table which stood nearer the cell door. So now he brought two square table and two chairs, and tables and chairs were placed in the cell. So this way, dear students, all the preparations regarding examination have been done. Now let me make you write some words and their meaning. Considerably, let me start from the first paragraph, that is loathed. Loathed means hated. Loathed means hated. Considerably means enough. Considerably means enough. Considerably means enough. And then clerical means basically. Clerical means usually related to a clerk, but here it is basically. Spattered means covered with drops. Covered with drops or spots of something, or spots of something. Authentication. Authentication means proving that something is real. Proving that something is real, that is authentication. Okay, so either you may pause the video and write down, or you may take the screenshot. Okay, let me wrap it and write down a few more words and their meaning. Now next one. foaming. Lathering means foaming. Lathering means foaming. Vigorously. Vigorously means briskly. Vigorously means briskly. Battered means broken. Battered means broken. Laddie means boy. Laddie means boy. Swap means align. Swap means align. Okay, it's all about the word and meanings from page number 74. So let me finish the explanation of this page. You may take the screenshot or you may pause the video and write it down. Now look at next paragraph. Jackson put in a brief final appearance. Behave yourself, laddie. So further, Jackson asked him to behave in a proper manner. He once turned and nodded. So he once agreed. And these Jackson pointed to the pin-ups off. So Jackson pointed to the pin-ups and asked him to off those pin-ups. He once turned and nodded again. I was going to take them down anyway. So he said when Jackson told him to put off the pin-ups, so he said he was going to take them down. A minister, isn't he? Further he said the person who is going to come, he is a minister. The chap coming to sit in, he said the person which is going to come in and sit here is a minister. And how did you know that? Asked Jackson quietly. So at this, Jackson asked quietly how he knew that he was a minister. Well, I had to sign some forms, didn't I? He said actually he had to sign some forms and I couldn't help, so that is why he knew about it. He once drew the razor carefully down his left cheek and left a neat swab in the white leather. So here writer tells us that he was now shaving. So the way he was drawing the razor, it was making a white line on his face. Can I ask you something, Mr. Jackson? So further he said, if he asked anything to Mr. Jackson, why did they have to bug me in this cell? Bug means spy. Let me make you write down the meanings of some difficult word, then we will be continuing. Let me make you write down the word meanings from page number 75. Bug in means a spy. Vaguely, that is not clearly. Vaguely means not clearly. Conceited means confessed. Conceded means confessed. Okay. Here, keep your nose clean. This phrase means keep your nose clean. Means keep your intention clean. It means keep your intention clean. Keep your nose clean means keep your intention clean. Next word is riveted. Riveted means fixed. Riveted, it is riveted means fixed. Riveted means fixed. Okay. Then next with let me rub it and write down a few more words. So I hope either you have taken screenshot or you may pause the video and write it down. Okay. Let me rub it. I'm going to rub it. Thudded, made a thud sound. Thudded, made a thud sound. Sorry, of falling something. Sound of falling something. Twang. Twang means sound of. Twang means here sound. Twang means sound. Okay. So it's all about the difficult words and their meanings from page number 75. Now let me explain the lines. Now let me start the explanation from beginning of page number 75. So he said that, can I ask you something, Mr. Jackson? What did they have to bug me? Why did they have to bug me in this cell? He said, may I ask you something? Why they have to spy me? Why they have to spy me in this cell? He nodded his head vaguely. He nodded his head not clearly to a point above door. So he by indicating towards above the door, he said, why they are spying me? Not a very clean job, conceded Jackson. Jackson confessed that it was not a very clean job. They don't honestly think I am going to try to. They are taking no chances, Evans. So he said, they don't want to take any chance with you, Evans. So that is why this tight security arrangements and these mics have been set up in your cell. Nobody in his senses would take any chance with you. He said no one in his senses would take any chance with you because Evans had already escaped 3 times from the prison before. So that is why this time the prison authority was very careful. Okay. I'll tell you who is going to listen in. Further, Evans asked, who is going to listen in? Then he said, I'll tell you who is going to listen in, laddie. He said, I am going to tell you who is going to listen in, boy. It's the governor himself. See, he said, the governor himself is going to listen the conversation between you and the invigilator. He don't trust you a bloody inch, and nor I do, and nor do I. He said, he doesn't trust you, and I also don't trust you. Neither he nor I trust you. Clear? He walked towards the door. He once noted he had already thought of that, and number 2 handkerchief was laying ready on the bunk. A neatly folded square and of white linen. So his neatly number 2 handkerchief of Evans was laying on the bank. It was neatly the number 2 handkerchief of Evans, which was neatly folded square. It was of white linen. It was laying on the bunk. Just one more thing, Einstein. Yeah, what's that? Once again, he made a sarcastic comment on him and called him Einstein. He said, one more thing, Einstein. Then Evans asked, what was that? Good luck, old son. He said, good luck. In the little lodge just inside the prison's main gate, the Reverend S. McCleary, the Reverend Stuart McCleary, signed his name neatly in the visitor's book, and then walked side by side with a silent prison officer across the exercise yard to D wing, where he was greeted by Jackson. The wing's heavy outer door was unlocked and locked behind them. The heavy inner door, the same, McCleary was handed into Stephen's keeping. So now, dear students, McCleary had come, and McCleary had signed in the visitors register, and he entered in the D wing. After he had entered the D wing, so the gate was unlocked for him. So once he had entered, it was locked once again, and now Stephens was guiding McCleary. McCleary was handed over to Stephens. Now Stephens had to take McCleary to the cell of Evans. Get the razor, murmured Jackson. Here Jackson was keeping an eye to Evans. He said, get the razor. Stephens nodded. Well, keep your eyes skinned clear. Keep your eyes skinned clear means, keep your eye at him. Pay attention on him. Stephens nodded again, and McCleary, his feet clanging up the iron stairs, followed his new guide and finally stood before a cell door, where Stephens opened the peephole and looked through. So now McCleary reached Stephens, and Stephens opened a peephole and he was looking at the looking at the Evans. So they were keeping an eye on Evans because they were not in mode of taking any chance with him. That seems sir. So this way they showed McCleary that he was Evans. Evans, facing the door, sat quietly at the farther of the two tables, his whole attention riveted to a textbook of elementary German grammar. So his attention was fixed to a book of elementary German grammar. He was reading the book, Stephens took the key from its ring and the cell lock sprang back with thudded metallic tong. So he took out a key, and then once again, after McLeary had entered the cell, he once again locked it with the sound of thud. It was the sound of that metallic lock. Okay. So it's all about this video lesson, dear students. In my next video lesson, I'll explain a few more pages. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.